Hey y'all, welcome to video 5 of my van build journal series. So sorry for this delayed video. It's been a long time, I know, but I really wanted to put my head down and get the van done so I can make it out to California. And that is where I am. I am in California in my newly finished van, and y'all, it looks incredible. I can't wait to show you guys. But I will not be showing you guys until I update all my videos on YouTube. But I can confirm it looks awesome. Enjoy video 5. I will be doing a bunch of projects, so enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of my video series about my Ford Transit camper van conversion journal experience. That's what I'm doing. I'm converting a Ford Transit into a camper van, and so I'm about a month and a half, 2 months into the build, and it's going really well. Last episode I insulated the van and put the bed in. And since then, I haven't videoed it, but since then I have put up some furring strips and done a lot of little small things, little small tweaks to the van. This episode will mostly be about, I'm seeing this episode mostly being about the furring strips and installing the big kitchen cabinet into the van, and then also installing the benches into the van. Let's get right into it. I will show you what I have been working on since the last video. So let's do that. So here are the furring strips that I have put up on the side panels. If you also notice above, there are some furring strips on the ceiling. I put all the furring strips on the ceiling, but I haven't secured them all the way, but the furring strips on the left side wall are secured. And if you notice here, there is a little bend, and that's exactly what I wanted to happen. So these are 1/4 inch birch hardwood. And so I wanted a 1/4 inch so they could conform to the wall, and so when I put the paneling up, it kind of had a slight bend to it. The ceiling is a little different from the side furring strips because of gravity. These are, I believe these are, let's see, 3/4 inch. These are actually a 1/2 inch piece of the same birch. It's really strong, and so on these it was a little easier to countersink these bolts. They're the same bolts I used on the side. It was a little easier since there is more there for countersinking. I'm happy with the way these pieces of plywood conform to the all over the van, the furring strips on the side and above here. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted something that kind of followed the shape of the van. That is what I have been doing for a couple of days now, waiting for a lot of my electrical components to come in so I can start figuring out where to put everything, and then we'll start wiring. So starting the furring strips on this side, you might see like these circles and like the holes in the low E. That is where my rivets are located, and so on my pre-measured furring strip here, I marked where they were. So from there, once I marked it and drilled a hole through this 1/4 inch birch, I take my, I think it's around 1.5 inch bolt here, and just put it through, and it will catch on to that rivet and screw on. I try to screw as much as possible until the board starts to like slightly crack. That way I can, you know, sink it in a little more, but I don't want to ruin the board by just pushing the entire screw through. Doing that actually forms a nice little curve once I screw in all of them kind of at the same time, it makes a nice little curve. So it's my favorite part of doing this, is when it nicely curves to the form of the van. Ooh, might have been a little too much. See, that's why I don't like countersinking, because especially on this 1/4 inch, it can get like really crazy really quick. What I mean by that, it can look like it's not really doing much, this 5/8, but then all of a sudden it's like, it's all gone. But luckily, things can be fixed. Okay, see, that's as far as I'm gonna go for that one, just because of what happened. So today we are going to make a bench right here where this blue tape is. It's going to be about 29.5 inches from the bed, and what was it, 19 inches long or wide, and then 20 inches high. So we went to Lowe's and we got some 2x4s to construct that. So that should be a pretty easy project today, and my dad is here to help. So let's get to it. So we just cut the boards for the bench. And so essentially, this is going to be the bottom piece. There's 2 pieces here. So the top piece right here is going to be the bottom layer, and then we're going to raise it up on the corners 20 inches. And then this bottom piece here is going to be the top frame. And this will be our frame, the construction of the frame. What we're doing here is we're just attaching these 2 frames. Each frame has 4 pieces of wood. We're gonna attach them and then install in the van. As my dad finishes attaching those frames together, I'm gonna go ahead and prep the top piece of the bench. This is actually being reused. This was our bed, the top of our bed in my Buick Rendezvous. When if you guys don't remember, we built a camper car out of my Buick Rendezvous, and we just put a bed frame in there, and this was the top of the bed. It's pretty like warped and a little dirty. I think I can revitalize it and be able to use it as that top piece of that bench. We have it, so I'm going to use it. So these are just leftover pieces of plywood that I wood glued and screwed into the structure. My dad right now, he is constructing some trim boards that are going to go kind of finish it off. Right now I cut the wrong piece of plywood for the top, wrong dimension, so I'm going to recut that and finish it off. But it's looking like we'll finish this today. Except for the paint. Still gotta paint it white and sand it, but yep. Alright, here is the top. It's nice and sturdy, a little warped, but that's okay. I need to sand it and make it look pretty, and that'll be the top. My dad right now is working on this trim piece, and so what he's doing for that is just cutting more of that 1/4 inch plywood that I have on hand, and then using that guy to attach them to the frame wood. It's looking good. Very happy with the way it looks.
Done. Now you just need to probably do the other long one. But you see how nice this came out?
Yeah.
And then this will be covered. You'll hit that in with a hammer. The thing wasn't on the right depth.
Today I will be fully constructing the benches. This one I just have to put up a couple pieces of veneer. I think that's the right word. But just decorative pieces. Have to nail them in fully. And then I'm in the middle of cutting pieces for that bench in that corner over there. Happy to say that our cooler that we will be using on our trips fits in this one. We do not have a fridge because this is more of a part-time living situation. People who have a full-time living situation in a van, I understand the fridge, but for us, it doesn't really matter to have one, food that you need to keep cool, and two, keeping stuff cool. I lived in a car with a cooler for a month and didn't have any issues. Food went bad a little quicker, but didn't have any issues. Anyway, so today I'm finishing up this. Gonna start on the next bench and then also keep looking at the electrical system. I should get the 2000 watt inverter in soon. I upgraded from, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I upgraded from a 1000 watt inverter to 2000 because I found that the heater I want to use is 1500 watts, so I want to be able to hook my heater in. So I upgraded just a couple, I think it was $100 more, so I figured having heat would be nice, so I thought $100, no problem. So I'll continue looking at the electrical system and ordering pieces that should come in Thursday, and today is Tuesday. What I have left with these benches, like I said, I have to just hook up the veneer, have to construct the second one, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it and then paint it white. And then I have this top piece that I'm going to construct as well and put the top on with the hinge. So yeah, that's it. So here are the benches inside the van. Painted them, constructed them, painted them. They look great. All I need to do is attach them, anchor them into the van, and I'm gonna use some inside corner braces for that. I'm gonna do, for right now I think I'm gonna do 2 and just see how sturdy that is, and then if I need more I'll use 4. But I'm gonna put them in the inside here and hopefully they don't move at all. What I have left to do for these are obviously make a seat top and then get some screws to make it a box for storage. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna screw these suckers in and anchor them. Really happy with the way these came out. Construction of this was half from wood that I bought at Home Depot specifically for the purposes of building these boxes, and half of the wood came from scrap wood. So I was really happy to use some of that scrap wood and save a couple bucks. So I'm gonna go ahead and anchor this. Let's do it. That was close. This is the part of the van build where I have several things going on at once. So I put in the benches into the van, but I still need to put the tops on and put the hinges on. This is the first one. I still have to cut, sand, and paint the other one. So I have that going on. I'm repainting the doors for the countertop. With that, I also have the electrical system all working out of my brain, and every morning I work on that for a couple hours. I forgot to put this top back on this paint. So with those things, I also am going to start the storage and the paneling tomorrow, I think. Because I still am waiting on a couple of things coming in from Amazon for the electrical work. Otherwise, I would be doing all the electrical work this weekend. So I literally have several projects going on at once with this van build. And not that this is the biggest issue, but I don't know what I'm gonna name this next episode. What am I gonna name episode 5? Because usually I do like what I worked on mostly. What is it gonna be? Like bench, paneling, storage, electric? I guess we'll see whenever we get there. This morning I told you guys that instead of doing paneling all over the van, I'm instead going to do sheets of plywood that look nice, that are painted obviously, on the walls, and then on the top, on the ceiling, I'm going to do paneling. I went to Home Depot with the intent of getting my wires, got those, that's successful. Real quick, I don't know how easy this is gonna be to work with. I expected it to be a little more, this is 0 gauge wire, and I expected it to be a little more easy to work with, but it's pretty stiff. Oh well, I got the wire, got several different types, but I also went there with the intent of getting the ceiling paneling, so I could go ahead and stain that and put it up tomorrow. I got back home, so I got to Lowe's and I looked at the paneling. I had 15 panel boards that all weighed 20 pounds each in the cart, ready to go, and then I thought, these are really heavy and they are really thick. I don't think this is gonna work. I don't think that paneling is gonna work for the ceiling. So instead I thought I would do sheets. I'm gonna cut sheets of plywood and make that, you know, and for half the cost and double the work, I would have paneling on the roof by cutting these strips and then painting them. But I do like the look of these better for the walls. So these probably will be the wall plywood, which means I don't have ceiling panels. All right, back to no specific project at all, just doing everything at once, it feels like. Specifically right now, I am working on the ceiling of the van. Yesterday, I got those boards thinking I was gonna cut them for the ceiling. Today I went to Home Depot. Typically I like Lowe's, but went to Home Depot and found some ceiling strips that will work really well actually. It was a really good find. They are cedar boards and they are tongue and groove, which is excellent, very easy to install. And they're a 1/4 inch, so they have a bit of stretch to them. Found these and it wasn't super pricey. Like each board of cedar was about, I would say $3, which, you know, is a little pricey, but honestly, like for the quality, I was more than happy to buy these. So I'm gonna go ahead and stain these that dark walnut color today, and hopefully I could get that local part. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting the ceiling boards up that is specific to the area where the storage is gonna go. So that is on the driver's side. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of storage. So I'm gonna put these up so I can start installing that storage, but I'm gonna wait on doing all of it until I get my electrical done, because I do need to get those lights up. Yeah, so these are the boards and really happy with the find. I think they'll work out really well. Cool. Here is the counter, the butcher top counter, all finished after sanding it again completely, sanding off all the polyurethane and stain because I did have some imperfections from cutting this hole. So I went ahead and did that, and now I am about to put my first thin layer of resin on top of this so it's nice and hard, and then we'll pour like the actual layer on, the one that will actually be a little harder, a little thicker. This is just, the first pour is just to make sure all the gaps, any porous surface is you know, filled. All right, let's pour that resin on. And did a thin coat yesterday, so it's not a porous surface. Now I'm about to pour a large load of resin on top and hoping it looks good and doesn't have any bubbles and clear and nice and smooth. We'll see how it goes. Let's do it. I'm really happy with the way this came out. There is a couple spots I accidentally marked right here when I was trying to put new masking tape on because it ripped, and I accidentally like got it a little bit. So I might do another layer, but overall I'm really happy with how strong this is and how well it dried. I mean, everything just feels very hard and sturdy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off this tape, which is easy to take off. Nice! I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I think that'll look super good. I think this will look really good once I put the kitchen products on. Yay! Yeah, I definitely think it needs one more layer just to level out some of these spots. And then I'll do a coat of, and then I'll sand it a bit. Overall, it looks great.